Let's talk about that teacher salary. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am sitting in my new home classroom / office, so if you want a tour of that, I will link that video down below. Go check it out and let me know what you think. But here's what we're here to talk about today. Let's talk about that teacher salary. It is the day-old conversation of teachers not making enough, and it's just crazy what a teacher's salary is. So when I was growing up, everybody always told me, don't become a teacher, they don't make any money, you're too smart for that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm here to tell you that we don't make a lot of money, but the reward of teaching is worth it. So it kind of comes down to what is your reason for teaching. This leads me to what this video is all about, budgeting. I am the worst at budgeting. I'm the worst at saving. I am like a live in the moment, spend my money kind of person. And if I want something, I get it. It's not something I'm proud of. It's something that I've worked really hard to stop doing. I've always had my bills paid. I've always made sure that nothing is late, but anything extra I have, I would spend. And recently, I am getting older and realizing all of the things that I want to do out of life, and those things are not cheap. So that's when I started budgeting. And it also helps that I'm dating an accountant, and I learned a lot from him about how to organize my finances. So I'm gonna break it down for you because I had to figure out a system that works best for me that I could keep up with. So first, I'm gonna show you how I track all of my finances, and then I'm gonna show you how I stick to my budget. What's up, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and show you what my budgeting sheet looks like. So I created this in Google Sheets. And the reason I did that is because I have Google Sheets on my computer as well as my phone, and I'll explain more on that later. So the first thing you need to do when you are making a budget is you need to decide how you're going to break it down. Some people break it down by week, some do it monthly. I do it per paycheck. So normally I would put the 2 dates in of the paychecks, and up here I put what month it is. The next thing I kind of figure out is what are my typical expenses outside of my budget. So that can include buying things for my classroom, toiletries like shampoo, conditioner, things that I need to buy on a somewhat regular basis, but not every paycheck. Any expenses for my guinea pig that I have or any other pets I have in the future. Health usually includes doctor's appointments or anything like that, and then other spending. So I have ones next to these and then twos next to the same ones, and I'll get to that when I get down to the bottom. Down on the side, this is where you need to list out all of the things that you spend money on monthly. So this is monthly, and for some I take it out of both paychecks, and for others I only do it for one paycheck. So just to give you a general idea, this is the kinds of things that I budget for. So my mortgage, my HOA dues, I have my savings, just my general savings account, car registration, car payment, car insurance. So even though you only pay your car insurance, I only pay mine once a year, or my registration is only paid once a year, I try to take money out each paycheck and put it aside to plan ahead for that, because $20 a month versus $500 in one paycheck is a lot easier to plan for. So those kinds of things I will take out each paycheck. Then my utilities, electricity, gas, water, trash, sewer, and pest control. And again, trash, sewer, and pest control, I don't pay every single month, but I plan for every month. And I'll get to that in a minute. Then my phone bill, my Wi-Fi, and then groceries, beauty, which is like getting my nails done, getting my hair done, the gas that goes into my car, and then my subscriptions. I have HBO, I used to have Hulu, Apple, Amazon, pet planning, emergency, home, and that's just for home decor, home renovation, Christmas, any travel, eating out, and then personal spending. So let me break down up here per paycheck, going back to the top. So I choose to do most of these things out of both paychecks. It just helps me to plan better, especially when I'm on a limited income. So for example, my mortgage, if my mortgage is $900, I will make sure that I take $400 out, or almost half out of the paycheck that it's not due. So this paycheck one, I usually get at the end of the previous month. So that pays my mortgage at the beginning of the next month. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments and I'll explain further. But basically I take almost half of it out of the next paycheck. HOA, I just go ahead and take that out of my second paycheck. The paycheck I'm not paying my mortgage, I tend to pay my utilities with. Things like savings, registration, car payment, car insurance, I plan for those out of every single paycheck if I can. Sometimes I might have to put registration or car insurance off a paycheck if it's not really necessary, or I'm really tight if something happened, it came up. But I try to take it out every paycheck, and I try to take the same amount out. My utilities, electricity, gas, and water, those are due once a month, every month. I always pay them out of my second paycheck. It just works for me because my mortgage is coming out of the first one. Trash, sewer, and pests, I only pay every other month or every 2 months. So I just take an even $10 out of each paycheck, and then by the time I have to pay that, I have enough set aside that I can go and deposit it and pay those real easy without really having to take any money out of whatever paycheck that cycle I was on. My phone and my Wi-Fi, again, I just pay those out of the second paycheck that's not with my mortgage. My groceries, beauty, those two things I will take cash out for and put them into the envelopes I'm going to show you in a little bit. Car gas, I plan for, but I update this sheet when I get gas. So like I said, the sheets are on my phone. So when I go into the gas station, I will update this on what I pay at that moment. So I budgeted for $75. The first time I go, I may have paid $40.05. So I would update it in my phone, and then it would automatically update my sheet. And then next time I go, maybe I only pay $20 more, and then it was $60. And it kind of gives me an idea of how much I paid that month, and I can plan for the next paycheck to maybe go less, but I always overestimate. My subscriptions, they're on automatic withdrawal, so mine just all happen to be on my second paycheck. So my HBO, my Hulu I'm not paying right now, my Apple, and then Amazon I pay the year in full, so I just take $10 a month out of that second paycheck and put it aside so that I can pay the next year's. These are my little savings pots. So I try to take, again, the same amount of each paycheck, but sometimes I have to kind of cut one down, or I can add more somewhere. For example, my old car was having a lot of issues, so I was putting more towards emergency than anything else in case that it had a problem. I could quickly have that money set aside. So currently, I'm saving for things like a pet, emergency fund, any home stuff that I want to do. I always make sure to pull out for Christmas every paycheck so that when December comes, I already have money set aside and budgeted for Christmas. Travel, I love to travel. So right now I don't have a lot going into it because I can't travel, and I already have some savings put aside so that as soon as COVID is over, I can go on a trip, but that's always, always, always on my budget because travel is important to me. And then eating out, this kind of fluctuates too, depending on if I have something special coming, like an anniversary that I know we're going out to dinner for, or a birthday, or like right now there's not really anything going on, so I'm kind of budgeting low for eating out. And then personal spending, and this is a little higher right now than usual because the school year is starting and I tend to just spend more. So when you come down here, I have set it up so that all of these things you can see up here in the top total automatically. So everything that I'm budgeting for that paycheck totals up down here. And this is actually really easy to do, so I'm just going to show you really quick if you're in Sheets. You can see there's a letter at the top and numbers on the side. So mine starts up here at B3, and the last one ends at B30. So what you do is you go into that box, click equals sum. B3 is where it starts, and then the colon, because I want it to go down to B30. And you can see that it's highlighted yellow. And when I click enter, it will automatically total that for me. So I also have mine formatted with color. So obviously right now I would be in the negatives. So let's say that I had $300 still in my bank account from my last paycheck, and my paycheck comes in at $1,500. So I have a total of $1,800 in my bank account. So that leaves me a net of $45. This bonus is any extra income I do. So currently I am doing summer tutoring, and my parents Venmo me for that. So the day that my paycheck goes in, I transfer my Venmo balance over. So let's say I have an extra $250 from that. I would put that in here. I also put anything I saved for from the previous paycheck. So for example, this first paycheck, like I showed you, is when I pay my mortgage, but I took that $400 out of the previous paycheck. So I would come down here and I would add that in. So 250 and 400 is 650. And then this shows me how much I have left in my bank account. The $695, and that's if I haven't spent anything on my credit cards and I haven't spent anything over here. And then this down here shows me all of the columns where I'm gonna actually pull physical cash out of the bank and keep that in my envelopes that I'm going to show you. So this would tell me, okay, when this paycheck drops, I'm gonna go pull $510 out of the bank and put them in their respective areas. Purchases over here. This does not account for the cash that I pulled out up here. This is strictly any extra purchases that I make in the month. So like I showed you over here, I have these different categories that tend to be where I spend otherwise out of the budget. So at the beginning of the school year, I went to this Target and I got some packs of crayons. I spent $20 on my classroom. If we come back down here, I have that automatically set up to go into purchases. Okay, and then I made an extra order on Amazon. I spent an extra $30, and I went to the doctor and I had a $25 copay. Now this 30, 25, and 20 is going to total up down here into my purchases. So it shows down here the total that I spent in each category, and all of those I have set up to transfer over here to purchases, which then automatically subtracts from this total. So let me make this like bright so you can see it. This total was how much was left after the extra and the bonus money I put in. The purchases came from over here in these columns, and they totaled down here to be 75. I didn't spend any on my credit cards, and that subtracts and tells me that when I get my next paycheck, I'm gonna have an extra $620 on top of my paycheck to go over here. So like we saw over here, this all balanced out with how much I would be spending for that month. Okay, again, I've just budgeted everything almost the same. I pay my utilities out of this, any subscriptions, I took all the same amounts out for my savings. And then this is how much I'm taking from the ATM because I have that extra mortgage money. Now I got my usual $1,500 paycheck. However, I have that $620 I carried over from last paycheck. And I got an extra $200 tutoring that paycheck. So now it's going to show me that this is how much is going to be left after all of my stuff is paid. So it usually takes a few days after I get paid for it all to balance out, but I just keep updating my spreadsheet along with my bank account to make sure everything's balanced and right and I'm not missing anything or nothing's off or funky about it. That's basically how I keep track and budget for the month. And now I'm going to show you what I do to keep track of the different savings pots I have. Okay, so now that you've seen how I kind of break down my budget and how I plan for everything, let me show you how I organize it and actually stick to it, because this is where I would make the plan at the beginning of the month, and by the end of the month, I wouldn't be anywhere close. Nothing would be balanced and I wouldn't have stuck anywhere to what my plan is. So this is what I do. Number one, I have to get cash out and put it in a separate place because I will spend it if it's in the bank account. If it's not accounted for, it's gone. It has to go somewhere specific. So when I first started doing this, I would kind of just have like little wads in my wallet, but then that all kind of started getting confusing and I couldn't keep track of what was for what. And since then I've also expanded how many different categories I have for spending. So what I did is for, I think it's definitely less than $5. It was like $3 at Target. They have an index card holder. So I will link this down below. This is just from Target. I walked in one day and I bought this. It was cheap and it has helped me tremendously. So basically this one has 5 tabs, and I'm pretty sure you can buy more if you wanted, but I didn't want to be carrying more than this with me at a time. And I just labeled them each, and as you can see, like one of them has fallen off, one of them is not even labeled. But I just labeled them with a letter so I would know what it was for. So G is my grocery money, E is my eating out money, this was a B for beauty, and then O was all other spending. And then anything random I had, like coins or receipts, I would just put behind the back. And this is what literally I carry in my purse. Like my family makes fun of me because I go to the grocery store and I pull this out and I pull cash from the grocery tab, but it works. I stuck to my budget. It was cheap, it was easy, and it's pretty compact. So it fits pretty much in any of my purses. If I was taking a smaller purse and I knew specifically I was going out to dinner with friends, I would pull out the money from the eating out part and put it in my purse. But if I'm just on a daily run, normally I have a purse big enough to fit this, and I just bring this with me. I have since now upgraded a little bit, and this is still really great because it's small and compact, so I do still use this, but this is my overall system now. I have one of these, I believe they're called A5 binders. This is from Amazon, I'll link it down below. It comes in like 4 colors. I think I picked this one because it's the cheapest one. And I like this because it has different card slots here. It's got a pocket for like receipts. You could put your checkbook back here. There's a spot for, let's see, a pen over here. It was really great. And then these envelopes, I ordered a 12-pack off of Amazon also. So again, these are like the 4 main ones that I carry with me. And even this, I'll take the binder with me if I know I'm going away for the weekend or something. And then if I'm going somewhere specific, I'll just take that envelope with me. And I labeled them using my Cricut. So as you can see, this is grocery, this is eating out. I know they're hard to read when there's stuff in there. Spending, and beauty. And I keep cards, so this is like a stamp card for my nail salon. I have like extra Kohl's cash in my spending, and then like food gift cards are in the eating out one. So I'll just kind of put those in the envelope, and then these are like other, like a movie gift card, Starbucks. I know most people put that in eating out, but I have the app on my phone, so I just kind of have this card just in case. And then the other envelopes for my savings pots, they are locked away in the safe, but I do have those labeled as well. I have a travel one, I have a home one, I have a pet one, and I just keep those all organized as well. So that has been the most efficient way for me to save. Number one, I really stick to the budget when it's cash, and a lot of online ordering is going on right now, obviously because of COVID. So if I place like a larger order, if I'm really kind of tight that month, then I will go and put the cash back in the bank to compensate for whatever I spent on Amazon or Target or whatever I ordered online, because that just kind of keeps me on budget as well. So that's basically how I live on a teacher's salary. I do live by myself. I pay my own bills, and this has helped me tremendously to not only do all of that I was doing before, but also save to do the fun things that hopefully COVID will end soon, and I can go spend it doing those fun trips and events and shows and all of those things that I love to do. So let me know what your budgeting system is, especially if you have kids or a joint household. I will eventually be moving towards that, so I'm very interested in how other couples bring their finances together, or how you bring kids into the mix. What does that look like for your family? Please share with me. I love to hear about it. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, and let me know what other kinds of videos you want to see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.